Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks for change. My name is Annisa. I'm from Class C, English Education 2018. Now, in this video, I would like to explain the material about English for specific purpose. The subject from my best lecturer name is Mr. Isma, S.pd, M.pd. From the middle of the semester. Well, the second meeting, we talked about the origin of English for a specific purpose. Well, along with the development of human activities, ESP is not only shown as a plain change, but is a phenomenon that grows out of concentration. ESP is an approach not as a product, and not a specific type of language or methodology, nor is it composed of a specific type of teaching material. English for specific purpose is a language teaching approach where all content and methods are based on students' reason for learning. Well, there are three main reasons for the origin of English for a specific purpose. Number one, the demands of a brave and new world, or tuntutan tantangan dunia baru. This happened because of the activity of exchanging goods and services after the World War. English is the key to technology circulation in international scale trade. So, knowledge of English is generally considered as prerequisite for good education. Number two, a revolution in linguistics, or perubahan dalam ilmu bahasa. Traditionally, the goal of linguists is to describe the rule of English used, namely grammar. And the last, number three, focus on the learner, or fokus pada pelajar. Students have different needs and interests, which will have an important influence on their motivation to learn a language and its effectiveness, so that it learns faster and better. Next, we move to the third meeting. In the third meeting, we talk about the development of English for specific purpose. Well, in its development, ESP has now experienced 5 changes in praise, where we will find out in more detail from the previous discussion about English for specific purpose. In its development, EST has a role in the development of ESP, which is an important area in the development of ESP. In other words, the development of EST illustrates the development of ESP in general. Well, there are 5 changes in praise development of ESP. Number one, the concepts of special language or register analysis. In bahasa, konsep bahasa khusus atau daftar analisis. Number two, beyond the sentence or rhetorical or discourse analysis. In bahasa, di luar kalimat or analisis retorika atau wacana. It is focused on lexical grammar, where the lexical grammar in English for specific purpose is higher than in general English. The purpose of the analysis is to produce a syllabus that gives high priority to students' language from. Number three, target situation analysis. In bahasa, analisa situasi target. The target situation is a situation where the learner will use the language they are learning. Number 4, skill and strategies. In bahasa, keterampilan dan strategi. Number 5, the learning center approach. In bahasa, pendekatan yang berorientasi pada pembelajaran. Next, in the fourth meeting, we talk about course design. Course design is the process by which raw data about the needs of learners are interpreted in order to produce multiple interpretations of the teaching experience. Course design refers to the planning and structuring of a course to achieve the needs goals. It is the outcome of number of elements, the result of the needs analysis, the course designer's approach to syllabus and methodology, and existing material. Robinson, 1991. In the same vein, Hutchinson and Withers have defined a course as an integrated series of teaching learning experience whose ultimate aim is to lead the learners to a particular state of knowledge. Manby continues saying, English for specific purpose courses are those where the syllabus and the materials are determined by the prior analysis of the communication needs of the learner. This means that the identification of learners' needs is the first step upon which the ESP course is going to be decided. Thus, the English for specific purpose course takes into consideration not only the subject area in the learners, but also the lexical, semantic, and structural aspects of the language characteristic of the specialized area. From the above definitions, one may say that the aims of the English for specific purpose courses are to prepare the learner in accordance with specific skills and vocabulary needed in their own field in order to be able to communicate effectively in their target situations. To achieve these aims, a number of parameters have to be taken into consideration, namely 1. The identification of needs, 2. Syllabus design, 3. Materials production, and the last, evaluation and assessment. Next, we move to the fifth meeting. In the fifth meeting, we talk about theories of learning. Learning language is conditioned by observing thoughts, organizing and storing information. In other words, the key to learning and teaching language is understanding grammar and thought processes. Developments in learning theory have had similar patterns in the depiction of language, and it has had an effect on the others. With depiction of language, we must draw key development in the theory of how students learn and relate this to the needs of English for specific purpose learners and teachers. So, below, there are 6 key developments in the theory of how students learning. Number 1, behaviorism, or learning as habit formation. In bahasa, perilaku belajar sebagai formasi kebiasaan. Learning is a mechanical process of habit formation and results by repeat reinforcement of a stimulus-response sequence. Number 2, mentalism, or thinking as a rule-governed activity. In bahasa, mental atau berpikir sebagai aturan kegiatan perintah. Number 3, cognitive code, or learner as thinking beings. In bahasa, kode kognitif atau belajar sebagai makhluk berpikir. Students will learn when they are actively thinking about what they are learning. Number 4, the affective factor or learner as emotional beings. In bahasa, faktor efektif atau belajar sebagai makhluk emosional. Number 5, learning and acquisition. In bahasa, belajar dan akuisisi. Number 6, a model for learning. In bahasa, sebuah model pembelajaran. Well, a learning model will provide a practical resource or reference for English for specific purpose teachers and course designers. Next, in the 6th meeting, we talk about need analysis. Well, need analysis is considered to be the cornerstone of English for specific purpose. The concept of need analysis has been different along the sides. At the initial stage of English for specific purpose, need analysis consists in assessing the communicative needs of the learners and the techniques of achieving a specific teaching objective. Nowadays, the task of needs analysis is much more complex. It aims at collecting information about the learner and at defining the target situation and environment of studying English for a specific purpose. In the last meeting, we talked about approach to course design. The definition course design is the process by which raw data about the needs of learner are interpreted to produce multiple interpretations of the teaching experience. Well, there are 3 approaches to course design below. Number 1, language-centered course design or desain kursus yang berorientasi pada bahasa. It aims to illustrate the direct relationship between the target situations analysis and the content of the English for specific purpose course. Number 2, skills-centered course design. Or desain kursus yang berorientasi pada keterampilan. Formed into basic principles, namely hypothesis and pragmatic basis. Number 3, or the last, learning-centered approach, pendekatan yang berorientasi pada pembelajaran. Based on the principle that learning is determined by the teacher in total. Well, there are 2 implications of a learning-oriented approach. 1, course design is a negotiation process, and 2, course design is a dynamic process. Alright, that's my explanation about the material English for specific purpose, and I hope that my video explanation can be useful and add insight for you who watch my video. Please forgive me if there are mistakes because perfection belongs to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.